This practice is led by Maïté.
Welcome everyone, it's time for yoga practice. I'm Maïté again. If you do need to practice mostly sitting or lying down, this is possible. Please partially use the movement that are best and accommodating for you. Listen to the wisdom of your body, listen to your edge. Know when you need to back off and know when you can find a little space where there's a little room for challenge, but it's not too much. If you have any injuries and you need to modify, I will offer a few options. However, I do not know everybody in the room, so I will really encourage you to tune in to yourself and to all the messages the body are sending you. And if you're not sure, just maybe backing off, taking a breath. It's okay to sit or to take a child pause or just stand a little bit. Other things that you may find handy, you may need to have 1 or 2 yoga blocks nearby. Again, completely optional. If you have a pillow or some pillows or cushions, that may be really supportive at some point to the practice. So feel free to have that. And then again, layers for warmer, colder temperature in the body. And finally, looser clothes and a glass of water. I'm going to invite you to actually stand up for this practice and just find a way where we all have a different frame, right? To have the middle of our hips in line with the middle of our knees, in line with the middle of our toes, if this is possible, so that you feel like you're being supported within your own frame. And inviting the knees to soften a little bit. Maybe we want to wiggle them a little bit. And then just arriving here, noticing how we're standing. Maybe we're just sitting, or maybe we rushed a little bit to come here. Just noticing what it's like to be back in that standing posture in this moment. That is the first time in this moment together that we are standing in this room, in this space, at this hour. Maybe it's a little different than other times. We may feel the contact of the feet against the floor, receiving that. Perhaps sensing some softness underneath the feet, or stickiness, or some sense of solidity from the floor, from the earth below us. Even if we are many floors up, we may notice that. And then from here, feeling the energy we are receiving from the ground, to feel the length through the legs, the torso opening, allowing the pelvis, the shoulder to be stacked. The arm relax, loose along the side. We can shake them off a little bit. Maybe they feel tight. And then letting the head a little bit like soften here, maybe shaking it off a little bit. Just maybe shaking the body like in a way that feels right and organic to you. There's no right or wrong way. And then just coming back gently to the center. And yes, it is called yoga practice, but I would like to remind you that the word yoga really doesn't matter. We can just consider that body movement, and there's a lot of sometimes association with yoga. So just as we are balancing from one foot to another, maybe letting go of all those notions, styles of yoga we may know about, preferences or aversion or likings, and just offering ourselves to fully be here for this practice to the best that we can, as a new exploration for ourselves, as it was the very, very first time that we were practicing this type of movement. And of course, maybe judgment, comparison, beliefs that we have about yoga may show up. So just noticing those and not being too attached to it, just coming back to really tuning to, oh yeah, this is what I am experiencing right now, right here. This is my true investigation into the moment, rather than a projection or a story about it. And so as we are balancing from one foot to another, we may notice a little bit of sense of weight shifting right and left, softening through the knees and coming back to center, trying to find some evenness. And then let's invite a deep breath into our nose as we reach our arm up. And then breathing out, pressing the palm down, growing tall at the same time. Inhaling, maybe bending the knee more, reaching up. And exhaling, softening, pressing down, feeling that energy we're getting from those arm pressing and those leg pushing up. In a way. And we can bring our inhaling shoulder to the ears. And then exhaling, letting them go. Do that a few more times, breathing in. Maybe even inviting a roll. Just noticing how the arms are moving. Maybe we're feeling the fabric of the clothes along the skin, or we're noticing the muscle, the bones, the joint moving. And we'll have this movement of the shoulder and the arm together. So breathing in, maybe clasping the hands, and then maybe inviting the shoulder to hike up. See what's up here. Maybe we're noticing a little bit of tension, constriction. And on the exhale, creating as much space as we can, letting the shoulder slide and drop on the back. And again, breathing in, maybe pushing into the floor to grow taller. Allowing the arm to reach, feeling the contact of the air with the skin, reaching the shoulder. Oh, and letting go if that feels tight. And one more, breathing in, out. And then back to the center. So going to crescent lunge now, crescent stretch, sorry. You can maybe keep your legs hip distance apart if it's comfortable, or if you want to try to cross one leg over the other, it doesn't matter which one. Feeling a little bit of that hugging of the midline here, the inner thigh meeting one another. And then again, breathing in, letting one hand meet the other. And on the exhale, slow side bending. And then here we can take a few moments to notice and observe what it's like. Maybe it's very challenging to balance right now, or it feels really delicious to stretch the side of the torso. Maybe there's a little bit of both happening, or maybe something completely different. And then gently coming back to the center. Taking a moment to notice the difference between right and left side. And then crossing the other foot forward and back. And then again, breathing in, sweeping those arms, maybe grabbing all of one wrist, inhaling, exhaling to the side. And you're noticing the possibility that we have. So maybe side bending just a little touch or a lot. Just finding the right amount of stretch without pushing so hard, right? We're not trying to win the competition of yoga here. Really no need to perform or get to a certain goal. This is more about tuning in, feeling the body in a way that's maybe a little bit different from the daily habits that we have. And then taking our hands on our hips, softening the knees, and then going to a little bit of circle here. So here we can be curious of doing slow circle or faster. And gently paying attention to the part of the body that may need a little more stretch. So maybe here we feel tight to the side. We may want to go back and forth a little bit, easing off, or maybe it feels really fluid and it's more like a bit of a hula hoop dance and we're not stopping the movement. So giving yourself some choices here. And just noticing if a small circle or big circles is just right for you. And then gently coming back to the center. And then bending the knees, taking a nice inhale, and on the exhale, allowing from the waist up a little rotation to the torso to happen. And then perhaps placing the right hand over the left arm and then twisting a little more. Maybe folding the knees more, maybe taking the lower body with you. Finding a sense of rootedness through the feet and yet a sense of elongation through the spine. Few breaths here. Inhaling, exhaling, coming back to the center and starting to rotate from the waist up the other way. And maybe taking that left hand over that right forearms and then twisting a little touch more on the exhale. And maybe noticing here some stretches across the midline, the oblique area, feeling the chest. And coming back to the center and just taking a few moments here to notice already what the body is receiving from those very gentle standing stretches. So I'll face that way and then let's do some little forward folding. So inhaling, reaching the arm up. And on the exhale, bending the knees and then gently taking the hands maybe on the thighs with a long spine here, dropping the tailbone rather than arching like that, trying to send the energy down. And then again, breathing in, maybe sweeping the arm, letting the arm meet overhead. Again, if you have shoulder issue, you may want to stop with your hands in line with your shoulder at any time of practice. And on the exhale, maybe folding, bending the knees, bring the hand on the side, or maybe trying to find a way to place the hand at the lower spine here. And then we'll try that by breathing in, right arm reach only, lengthening the leg. And then breathing out, pressing back. Inhaling, lifting the left arm. And exhaling back. You can try two arms, seeing the difference. Inhaling, framing the ears with the arms. Maybe here finding a sense of stretch or elongation to the sides. And then exhaling, gently coming back to center. And leading with the left arm this time. Inhaling, sweeping the left arm. Exhaling, releasing. And breathing in the right arm. And center. And then maybe both arms, breathing in, reaching. And back. You can take a moment to bring your hands on our side. So if ever here you have any low high blood pressure, glaucoma, heart condition, you may want to stay more in that position. Or if you know, so you are pregnant or you tend to have a little bit of vertigo. If not, if it's okay right now for you, just gently exhaling, rounding the spine like a little cat in sitting, folding the knees, and then inhaling gently, lifting the heart center, arching the spine, sticking the tailbone out, and doing that a few times. You may want to try with your legs a little wider, feeling a little more support to the feet here. And gently exhaling, rounding, allowing the head to tilt back, chin toward the chest, to me pulling in. And inhaling, arching, opening the chest, the collarbone, letting the shoulder drop back. One more, exhaling, rounding. Maybe noticing here some effort occurring through the legs, right? To support that cat and cow stretches. Maybe feeling a little bit of heat, and again, listening to what's manageable for you. And gently bring the leg a little bit closer together. And then see if we can reach toward the floor into a nice little forward fold, bringing the head down, maybe looking back. Folding the knees as much as you can, so hopefully your hands can touch the floor. And then grabbing all of your elbows and doing a little bit of rock from side to side. So here, if you have no problems with inversion, you can stay longer. If you do, please do this from here, like do this from a standing position rather. So we're here in a nice little forward fold, letting the head be heavy, noticing here a sense of weight, maybe a sense of the gravity pulling us down somehow. Then letting go, releasing the weight of the body like a rag doll. Feeling the head heavy, the neck releasing, the shoulder dropping. And then gently coming back to the center, walking the hands forward. Looking ahead a little bit. And seeing if we can step the right foot forward between the thumb. And then the left back, so we're a little bit turning out. And the right knee fold over the ankle. I'll just go with the other side, so I'm open to you rather than close to you. And then slowly walking the hands to the left side. So this is warrior one, right? Shoulder are stacked, hip are stacked, and seeing if we can face forward the small edge of the mat rather than turning out here. And finding a degree here in that back hip so that we're not too open, but about 45 degrees or so. And allowing that knee to be safely bent over the ankle. Just taking a moment here to maybe wiggle around a little bit so the knee is not behind the heel. And then you're taking a breath, going up taller here, shoulder hip in line. Inhaling, sweeping the left arm up if your right leg is forward. And then exhaling, returning back. Other side, inhaling, other arm. Exhaling back. And both arms, breathing in, reaching. Maybe stretching the chest open a little bit by folding the elbows back, nice and wide. Inhaling, exhaling, maybe sweeping back. So taking a few moments here into a slight back bend to feel this opening across the torso, across the pec muscles. Noticing here any tendency of maybe gripping in our toes with the floor and seeing if instead of gripping through the toes, we can widen the toes into the earth. And then gently returning the hand on the hips, returning the spine to a more neutral position, and then slow extending that phone leg. Maybe bring your hand on our side, bending, extending. So here's possible you're noticing you're wibbly and it's a bit challenging. So perhaps you just simply need to try to bring your stance a little bit closer together. That may be easier to feel more groundedness. Perhaps you feel good and you need a little more of a stretch, so perhaps bring the leg a little more further away. So again, always giving yourself the possibility to play with a stance that is right for you. And then you're gently taking a nice breath in, lengthening that front leg. Folding at the hips, we can take our hand on our hips to notice how we can fold. Bending the front knee as much as you need. And then gently rounding the spine and then going toward the floor. Front knee can bend if we need. And then from that position, pivoting that back leg. Taking your hands on the floor and then stepping that left foot back. So downward facing dog, hands are wide like starfish. Feel a little bit wide, energy to the hips. And just folding one knee at a time, doing a little pedaling, breathing in, breathing out. Inhaling and exhaling. And slowly start looking forward and then walk your feet towards your hands. So if your right foot was forward for your first downward facing dog, step your left, just face the other way. So open to front knee bend over the ankle and then back leg turn. And then slow allow your hands to climb at your thigh. And then let your ear, your shoulder, your hips find that alignment. Again, maybe playing with the stance that is accommodating you. So you feel not gripping the floor, but grounding, spreading the toes, allowing the knee to be safely over the ankle here. And once we're here, we can take a moment to notice what's here ahead of us, what we're seeing today. Maybe a nice play of light and shadow in the room, or some object that we didn't really notice that way before. And then gently, as we press our feet to the ground, breathing in, extending the opposite arm up. Feeling maybe a stretch to the torso, the side. Exhaling, releasing. And other arm, breathing in to reach. And out. Hand can be at the hip or at the low back, and then both arms breathing in, reaching, floating the arm up. Noticing the energy through both sides here, reaching toward the sky. Maybe exhaling, folding the elbows, dropping the shoulder. Perhaps staying in neutral, or if the spine allows today, pushing to the feet gently to inhale, exhale, back bend. Few breaths here. And then we may be noticing that while we're doing that, we're very serious and the face starts to tense up, or are there any tendencies, constriction that we can let go of, abandon in this moment that maybe don't really serve us so well. So maybe we can smile and soften. And then inhaling, exhaling, returning the spine more to neutral. Maybe bringing the hand on the front side and starting to extend. And bend that front leg. Finding some loosening here, so the muscle of the quads, the front leg. And gently breathing in, letting the front leg extend, finding some connection with the ground, the floor, taking maybe a hand at our hips, and then inhaling, forward folding to the torso with a nice little flat back. Maybe bring your hands a little lower along our thighs or our shin to feel more of a stretch, possibly to the back of that front leg. Allowing the breath to being part of this pose. And then maybe diving a little more forward, folding at the waistline. Bending the front knee as much as needed, finding the floor, taking a moment here to look back, to plant our hands wide on either side of our foot in line with our shoulder. And then when you are ready, take a nice inhale, exhale, step your front foot back to meet your back foot, and then find a nice little downward facing dog. So here, downward facing dog, making sure that we're not having the head like that behind the arms or just before, but trying to notice the relationship of our arms with our ears, so that they are in the same frame. And then once you find that connection with your hands, well, like starfish, making sure your shoulders are not like at your ears like that, but pulling the shoulder down here toward the hips, sending the hips toward the sky. And then slow here, maybe bending the knees a lot. And then inhaling, exhaling, extending the legs any amount that is right for you. Gently bending in, eyes toward the toes. Inhaling, exhaling, lengthening back. One more, and if that gets too much heat, feel free to please come onto your all fours and then knees. This is still okay. We can reverse that by inhaling, floating the heels off the ground, pressing through our 10 toes. And then exhaling, slow, articulating, ball of the feet, middle of the feet, and heel. We'll try that a couple more times, breathing to raise the heels, coming onto our tippy toes. And exhaling, articulating down. So noticing here the amount of effort, of strength to the arms, the legs, to the core. And yet maybe feeling a sense of well-being here, right? And then gently folding the knees underneath the hips, coming onto our hands and knees. Feet together, knees wide, finding a moment to sit in child pose. Few breaths here, just receiving the ground. Noticing what's true to you right now. Is your breath change? Is the temperature of the body different? Do you feel your energy level has moved? And then gently coming back to hands and knees. And floating the hands a little bit before the shoulder here for a puppy stretch. So taking a nice breath, and remember you can pad your knees as needed. Take an inhale, gently engage your glutes, pull your abs, press your heart center forward between your fingertips. And see if we can pulling the shoulder back and then opening just so maybe we stay here more neutral. Maybe as we hug gently into the glute to protect the back, we can arch low back, middle back, upper back, bring the head forward. Make sure not like that, right? Like really pushing off the floor as if we were doing that on the stand. And then inhaling, exhaling gently, sweeping those hips back, folding at the elbows, almost sitting on the heels, but not quite. And let's repeat that a few more times. So inhaling, sending the spine forward, sweeping the heart center between the thumb, again gently to the glutes, protecting the back. And then maybe having the choice to start opening the chest, pressing to those arms, opening up, and we can look a little bit to the right and to the left. Soft jaw here if we're tensing up to the face. And coming back to the center, inhaling, exhaling, sweeping those hips back. So option to stretch the arm forward nice and straight, or to gently fold the elbows so they come down on the floor. 3 breaths here. Noticing any amount of stretches that your body is receiving, perhaps into your upper back, the shoulders. And taking the hands back underneath the shoulder, coming back onto the all fours, tucking the toes, taking a nice inhale and exhale, sweeping those hips back to a downward facing dog. So this time, walking the hands to meet the feet. And once we're there, we can slow grab all of those elbows and then do a little rock and sway from side to side. Just noticing what's happening here. Maybe coming back up gently, slowly. Feeling the stacking of the low spine on the pelvis, while the feet are rooted to the ground, the middle spine, the upper spine stacking, the head, the shoulder, and then allow the hands to clasp all the way up. And then back to center. So just taking a moment here to receive the breath, the body, to receive the floor underneath us and the space around and above us. And then slow, taking a step forward with the right foot and turning the left foot back a little more. So this time it's more like a warrior two with shoulder, hand, hip facing the long side of the mat. So again, for safety, playing with the stand that is right for you. So I'm quite turned out here. That's the way my hip works. Maybe your hip works more like this or turns out even more. So please, by any means, no judgment here. We are born with the hips that we have, right? Um, that served our ancestor really well one way or the other. So just respecting that. And then anchoring the knee here over the ankle. So not behind that and all the way toward the toes, finding a nice alignment. And then here, let's see if we can open a little bit more our shoulders. So imagine we're holding a giant beach ball. Take a deep breath in. And then on the exhale, sweeping the arm nice and wide and open, maybe turning the palm out and allowing the gaze to look at that front hand. And again, exhaling, rounding, gathering, collecting the energy. And then inhaling, exhaling, sending that back. Couple more times. Maybe breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth, feeling a sense of perhaps expansion or perhaps not. And then here, gently, strong through the leg, breathing into back bends in your mouth. And then as if we were a scale with a little more weight one side and the other, we can change the body and then reach back. Maybe looking at that back hand and forward. So here, allowing yourself to maybe move really slow as if you were moving in the water. It's a little more dense, we move slower. Or maybe me moving to a pace that's a little more organic to you. Noticing any sense of wanting to rush or impatience, and just remembering to be kind and curious to what's happening here. And gently coming back to center, leveling those hands as if the weight on the scale were even. And then here, starting to inhaling, lengthening the front leg, and then tilting the torso forward here. So this triangle pose. So you may keep your hands here up, or your hands on your bottom end can come on your side, on your shin, or if you do have a yoga block, you may find that very helpful to have the yoga block right here. And then once you find your stance, your feet strong, anchoring to the floor, inhaling, exhaling, gently twisting the spine, maybe looking down. And then inhaling, reopening, perhaps letting the gaze follow the direction of the hands, and doing that a few times, exhaling to round. And if this is too much and too deep, maybe you have a chair and your hands could be on the back of your chair like that, and you can just do it from here also. You don't have to dive so deep. And one more. And coming back to center, bending your front knee safely over your ankle. And then returning, so our arms are level like a scale, taking the hand on our hips and then gently bringing our legs back to more together. So we can do a little shake here. And just noticing the difference between right and left side, maybe the similarities. Perhaps closing the eyes to feel inwardly. Sensing the breath, sensing the floor. And then maybe noticing any tendency to anticipate or wonder about that other side. And slowly, whenever you are ready, opening the eyes and allowing the body to twist the other direction. So we can go back to the warrior two on that side. Actually, we're not going back. We're going for the first time on that side. So being curious of what's happening on this side now. So front knee over the ankle, leg turn out to whatever degree works for you, shoulder, hips facing the long side of the mat. And then breathing in, gathering that giant beach ball. Or maybe that giant ball of love or whatever you want to imagine. And then inhaling, exhaling, sending that out. And I'll let you do that 2 or 3 times in silence. You can really feel it for you. Maybe noticing all the subtle movement that the arms are able to do, right? From the base of the shoulder to the fingers. And then you're gently breathing in and breath out, back bending, just in your mind, maybe just a little bit, maybe a lot. Letting the gaze look up into the ceiling, to the sky. And then extending, reaching forward, and then sweeping that back end, maybe looking at me. And playing that with that a few more times. So I'll let you also explore that in silence a few times. Gently coming back to the center, reaching the arm forward, and then bringing a little more weight into the front leg to inhale, extend that front leg. Reach the torso forward as if we were a teapot, a kettle, and we want to pour some hot water into a cup. Maybe finding the yoga block here, or staying right there, sweeping the arm up. Maybe bring the hand to the thighs, the shin, and then just take a few moments here to inhale, exhale to the twist, rounding the spine ever slightly, twisting toward the earth. Pressing gently into the feet, feeling that energy to inhale, unwind, untwist, and maybe reach up. A few more times, exhaling to the round. So again, remember you can be here and back. Just see how the spine can evolve in a rotation here, while the rest of the body from the waist down is very stable and strong. And gently coming back, looking at that bottom foot, front knee bend over the ankle, and slow climbing back up, finding the hands level, and then bring yourself back to the center. Take a moment to feel a little bit of stance here. So let's play a little bit with balance. It's always good to play with balance on a daily basis. So I invite you to find a focal point in your environment. So not me, because I will be moving, but maybe a little dot on the wall, or if you have a painting, you can look at a little spot in that painting. And then once you find that spot, just finding the right stance, so you feel your legs are pretty stable, and playing with what leg will sustain a little more weight. So maybe you feel more stable on your right leg today, so bring a little more weight on that right, or the contrary. And then whenever you're ready, breathing in, sweeping the arm out to a T, and then floating ever slightly any amount the opposite leg. Just taking a few breaths here, noticing any sense of maybe wobbliness or moving. If we're frustrated, the balance not so good, no problem. We can just come back and then reset the button as if nothing happened, and just try again with fresh eyes and experience. Maybe this is not too bad right now. Maybe we feel pretty strong and stable. So maybe pushing the edge a little bit, maybe tilting the torso any amount a little bit more toward the earth. Just noticing here what's here. Noticing which muscle need to engage and contract to help us balance. Maybe which muscle can also let go and relax into that pause. And gently guiding, accompanying the body back. Running center, take a moment to just receive the difference between the leg that was supporting us and the leg that was floating. And when you are ready, gently transferring the weight to the new leg. And inhaling, sweeping the arm wide. And when you are ready, pressing gently to that new leg to float the opposite one. Finding a focal point, maybe a new one or the same. And noticing here, maybe it feels a little easier the second time, or actually not so much. Maybe it's mobilizing legs that is stabilizing right now. So just playing with that. Be noticing the contraction to the thighs happening, the change in the breath. Maybe some tensing in the hands. Can we relax? Can we come back? And we try one more time with a little bit of side bending if we like. So try again. Maybe floating the leg lower, higher, maybe the arm reach more. Maybe we feel elongation from east to west. Maybe we bend a little bit to the side. Just seeing what's happening here. Noticing if my mind is elsewhere. Is it easier, harder to balance? If my mind is really present, inhabiting in my body, and together into the balance, is it easier or harder to balance? What's happening right here? And then gently coming back, be noticing a little bit of heat. We can shake the legs. Okay. So opening our legs a little bit wider now. So you have a couple of options. Legs so a little bit wider than the shoulder. You may feel that it's very comfortable for you with your 10 toes forward and parallel like a trench tract, or your hips prefer a little bit more turn out, 45 degrees and so. Not trying to over turn out, because that can be actually hard on the hip joint, even if we don't feel it in this moment. And then here, see if we can take a deep breath in for a start. And a deep breath out for what we call the goddess pause. We reach that one more time. Inhaling, pressing to the feet, reaching the arm in a position. Spreading out like a star, feeling the environment. And exhaling, lowering down, grounding ourselves. One more, breathing in. Maybe reaching on our tippy toes, challenging our balance one more time. Smiling, relaxing the face. Then exhaling, grounding the feet, lowering down, coming back, feeling the feet strong but not gripping. And then here, gently seeing if we can move from the shoulder to flip the arm down and back. And bring them back into that cactus arm. And reverse cactus. So being really curious here of what's happening of the movement from the base of the shoulder to the upper arm to the rest of the arms and the hand. Yes, and bringing them on. So we may feel a bit self-conscious about that. It looks a little bit funny. So noticing those tendencies, and do we need to take ourselves really seriously here? Yes or no? This is for you to answer that. And gently folding down a little more, maybe bringing the sitting ball a little bit closer to the ground, finding a comfortable position for the hand on the side, and then transferring a little bit more weight to one foot to extend the other leg, like a little side scatter, and then switching. Yeah. So here you can go nice and fluid, you can go slow or faster. Just having a little fun, noticing, oh yeah, that's how my legs can move here. Maybe moving the torso with the legs a little bit, like looking to the right, to the left. Noticing how the body evolves into space. And finding our center, bringing a little bit more weight to, that's my left foot, but if you want to do right, that's fine too. And then seeing here if you can inhale, exhale, do a little bit of a twist and rotate. So you can place your right hand over your left outer side and gently push into it. And then look back and up. So here, easy to do this with the shoulder. So maybe releasing the shoulder, opening the chest, and then allow the head, the neck to twist any amount. A few breaths. Gently unwinding the head, the neck, the torso, and then starting to bend the other leg, noticing how the leg kind of already know the way. And then bringing the left hand over the right outer side, inviting a little twist here. Releasing any tension to the shoulder, any hiking. Softening the gaze. Relaxing the eyebrows. Letting the breath smooth into the belly, feeling maybe some sensation of rising and falling. And then coming back to the center. Folding both knees, doing a little bit of the bounce here. As if we're horseback riding. And then here, inviting a little bit of a twist. So with my right hand on my right side, inhaling, exhaling, pushing away a little bit, and then twisting back. and center. So you may find your leg getting really tired here, so please feel free to do it like this, more up, and the leg even closer together, right? Just kissing deeper to the leg without pushing too hard. And then gently coming back here to center, bring the leg a little bit closer together. And then inhaling, and at the hips, folding at the waistline here into a nice little flat back. Softening the knee as much as needed. And then here, if you have a yoga block, you want to place it right at the center. Or if you feel like it, you can bend the knees and then just grab for the floor. And inviting a little bit of a twist here. So my hand is centered with my torso right in between my legs, and then pressing it, taking a nice inhale, exhale, gently twisting, and maybe sending it up. And then coming back to the center, and then twisting to the other side. So again, here, noticing if the pelvis can stay over the knee and the hips. Sometimes if I'm sideways, sometimes we start to do that, right? So can we bring a little more pelvis over the feet, the knees? And then as we twist, maybe we decide that this is good. Maybe we need to bend the leg a little more, or one more than the other. Maybe we want to walk the yoga block a little more toward the right hand, toward the left foot. You can bring the hand on the side here. Few breaths. And then traveling to the other side. Twisting any amount that is supportive to this moment, to this practice. Again, if it feels like too much, just backing off, being wise, being kind. You only have one body, so really respecting that. And maybe one last twist. Maybe the floor is accessible right now, so maybe folding the knees more, maybe keeping the yoga block. And maybe inviting the hand to travel toward the opposite foot here. So either right there, right here. Again, it's too much, you can do it just like that, right? Or just like this. And a few breaths here. And then gently noticing the intention to travel to the other side, and noticing how we are traveling to the other side. How the body intuitively already knows the direction. It knows what to do. We don't need to comment too much here. Letting go, releasing if we're holding some areas that can be softened. And if not, that is not a problem. Just allowing what's here to be felt, to be known, to be experienced. No need to judge, right? And to be too difficult with ourselves. And then when you're back to the center, maybe coming back and just bouncing one more time, taking those legs here. So a couple of options here. You may want to like squat directly like that if you can. Or come to a high little wide squat, or come to a nice little low squat here. So just holding either here nice and wide for a few moments, coming down here, hands can come on the floor. Wherever you are, you may wish to bring your hands to your heart center. If you're in my position, maybe upper arm push gently against the inner thigh. Feeling the feet in contact with the floor, and if you're higher right now, also allowing the spine to elongate itself. As if there was a little string pulling us to the crown of the head, feeling that sense of energy toward the sky, toward the stars. Few breaths here. Allowing the breath to be fluid, noticing the inner thigh opening up, the width to the torso. Contact of the hands against one another. Are they warm, cold, moist, clammy, sweaty, dry, tingly, pulsy? So many sensations in the hands, right? What's here for me right now? And gently bring your hands behind our back if we're close to the floor, accompanying ourselves towards the floor if we were still standing up. And taking a moment here to lengthen left leg, right foot comes here. Taking a breath in, reaching your arms to front my ears, and exhaling, folding forward. Bending the knee and you mount. And in that position, you may need to prep your hips. So you can do that on a chair, actually, with the leg outstretched. Maybe your leg here could be resting on a low stool. And then this leg can just drop down on the chair. So here, if it's okay, we can inhale, exhale, doing a little twist toward our bed leg, and maybe reaching your arms sideways. And breathing in and out. Feeling the routineness of the sitting bone on the ground, the opening to the side of the waistline, the rib cage, your underarm, and finding that energy of the arm reaching up without the shoulder hacking out, like softening the shoulder, maybe bending the elbow a little bit. It's tight. Beautiful, beautiful to see some of you practicing. Thank you. And then inhaling, exhaling, sweeping the arm back behind you. And then once you're facing your bent leg, taking your hand, your opposite hand for that bending, and maybe just staying here, maybe exploring a little bit of a twist in that position. A few moments to breathe, to feel what's here. Allowing the spine to feel elongated again if it's collapsing. And gently unwinding, coming back to the center. Folding the knees bent feet flat, and doing a little bit of a windshield wiper here. Gently shaking off the hips. Keeping the hands behind, letting the chest, the shoulder be wide and open. Massaging the glutes, the sitting bones. And then when you are ready, going onto your other leg. So extending right leg, folding the left. And breathing in, arm reach toward the sky, drawing the energy out of the sitting bone, the abdominal contracting in gently, and exhaling forward, folding. Letting the hand fold anywhere where it feels natural, comfortable, bending the knee as much as needed. So here, maybe noticing any tendency of the mind to go into a little chatter about, yeah, why am I not flexible? Or could I be more flexible? Oh, I am amazingly flexible today. So those are wonderful and can serve us well, but just trying to find the right amount of effort that's needed to be true of self-care right now. And gently, when you are ready, starting to twist, rotate the torso a little bit toward that bent leg here so that you can side bend. Gently anchoring the sitting bone while the opposite arm reach. Maybe closing the eyes, opening the face, feeling that inwardly. So maybe experiencing that externally, right? By feeling the support, the feedback from the floor, the air in the room, temperature. And then inhaling, exhaling, sweeping that top arm back, twisting, taking the hand on the side, and maybe as we inhale, exhale, finding a nice little rotation back. Noticing the spiral of energy that the spine is creating right now from the floor to the mid back, to the torso, to up and over the top of the head. And gently unwinding, coming back. Taking both legs to a knees bent feet flat position. And then bring the hands behind the side for a little bit of a half hold on. So taking a nice inhale, exhale, gently rounding the spine, allowing it to cohere. And then inhaling gently, coming forward, finding the sitting bone, the lower spine, and then try to keep the gaze forward. Again, exhaling, rounding gently, allowing the abs, in the back rounding. gaze forward, shoulders soft. Inhaling, coming back. And one more time, exhaling, rounding. Inhaling, reaching. And on the next one, accompanying ourselves down. So you may want to try that with legs bent or legs long. Reaching the arm forward, flexing the feet, taking an inhale, and as we exhale, slow. Rolling the spine down as we're rolling our yoga mat and it was folded. Slow, feeling the lower spine coming down. Maybe bring your hands on the floor, the middle spine, the upper spine, letting the shoulder melt into the mat, the head, the neck. Once we're there, you moment to fold one knee at a time so the feet come flat. Maybe opening the hands a little bit wider from side to side. The feet a little bit wider than the hips, and inviting a little bit of a lying down windshield wipers here. Breathing in, breathing out. So you may wish to keep going with the movement or simply stay on one side. Or just allowing yourself the permission to do either. Be noticing how maybe other parts of the body are benefiting from that move, right? Maybe we're feeling a little bit more of a releasing of the shoulder on the ground or the ribs. Maybe the sole of the feet are getting a little bit of a massage too. And then allowing the weight of the body to sink in the floor. Feeling the head anchor, the nose in line with the spine, the shoulder broad over the pelvis. And if it's possible, bring the heels of the feet a little bit closer to your sitting bone here. Hands flat on the floor, shoulder pull back, and preparing for a bridge now. So starting with a little bit of pelvic rock. So here we will have a little bit of a curve in our back, right? So as we inhale, lengthening the spine, and as we exhale, gently pressing the back down, rocking the pelvis. So here your pubic bones are tilting toward your nose. So pubic bone is here, start tilting toward your nose. You feel the back coming down on the mat. And on your inhale, gently arching the low to mid back away from the mat, as if here you're trying to create a little tunnel of light between your spine and your mat. And do that a few times. So if it's the very first time you're doing that, that may feel really quite strange. Just giving it a shot, being open-minded of what the body can do and try. So gently exhaling to round the spine toward the mat, feeling a gently pull of the abdominal away from the shirt here. And then inhaling, arching, and creating a little bit of a curve. Couple more. And if you have any low back issue, you may prefer to not do the rock and stay more into a neutral pelvis where you're not arching your back like that, you're rounding, you're right in the middle. And then we're going to go into bridge. So if you have any back issues, stay in your neutral. We're going to do this one first all together, and then I'll offer the other option. Pressing gently from ears to the toes, keeping the head heavy, eyes on the ceiling, shoulder pull back. Take a nice in, and as you drive your feet toward the ground, take an exhale to press through those feet to lift those hips, engaging through the glute and find a bridge. So that's a hinge bridge because the spine comes up in one piece. Taking your breath here. Press out. Noticing the effort that the legs are making by contracting the muscle of the thighs to hold the bridge. And then slow on the exhale, returning the spine into one piece. One more time, pressing to the feet, taking a nice inhale. And exhale, pressing the hips, pressing the feet, lifting the hips. Inhaling at the top. Trying to keep the hip and the middle of the hips, middle of the knees in line here. So everything's tracking like a number 11. Sending the energy out of the thighs, the knees toward the toes. And yet keeping the knees over the ankle. And then exhaling, lowering down. So here, if your back is okay, you have no back issue. Instead of going up in one piece, we can articulate the spine, right? Because we have so many vertebrae. So if you have a disc issue right now, please go up in one piece, not in one piece. Or if you know you have stenosis, spondylolisthesis, all these, If it's good, just gently exhaling around your spine toward the mat, so you're blocking the light, and then gently hugging through your glutes, squeezing through those feet, and then lifting slow low back, middle back, and upper back. Once we're in the bridge, if we want, inhaling, reaching the arm up and overhead. Getting a nice stretch here, pressing a little deeper through the ground, feeling that energy we're receiving from the earth, head, shoulder even, eyes on the ceiling. Breath still going. And slow on the exhale, floating down the arms and the upper back, very slow. The arms and the middle back, the arms and the lower back, the arms and the sacrum, the arms and the tailbone. We'll try that one more time. Maybe right arm up this time only. So taking a breath and then pressing to the feet, inhaling, exhaling to float up. Taking to the back of the body and breathing in at the top of the bridge. Exhaling to lowering down. One more time. Now inhaling, opposite arm come up as we exhale. Inhaling at the top. Exhaling, lowering down. And maybe try now both arms and the pelvic last bridge. Breathing in. To prepare, breathing out to push up the feet, engage the glutes and hamstring, floating the arm up and overhead. Taking a full breath here at the top of the bridge. Feeling a nice little engagement to the inner side, the tracking of the hip and the knee, the pressing to the feet, the hugging to the glutes. Lots going on here. Relaxing the face. Smiling and inhaling, exhaling, gently releasing down, letting the spine, seeing the spine can travel alongside with the arm. The arms have a lot to travel, right, more than the spine. So trying to coordinate that, melting slow upper back, middle back, lower back, sacrum, and tailbone. Whew. Okay, once we're there, gently hugging the knees here toward the chest, maybe bringing the hand on the shin, offering yourself a little bit of a rock from side to side. Massaging the back. And then pausing at the center, taking the hand on the right shin and then sending the left leg long. Take a nice breath here. Feeling the head, the shoulder, the rib cage, the hips on the floor. Soft gaze on the ceiling. Chest, heart center open. And then maybe bringing the hand on the side and allowing that leg to lengthen any amount that is right for you right now. Breathing in to lengthen. Breathing out to fold. Doing that a few times. Maybe climbing the hands a little higher. And holding a few moments here, allowing a little circle of the ankle. And then reversing. Maybe bending the knee in, taking the leg a little bit toward the right leg out toward the right side and back to center 2 or 3 times. Inhaling to open, exhaling back. And just noticing here how the inner thigh is opening up, the inner part of the torso. We can keep the opposite hand on the hip, so we keep the hip fairly square to the ceiling. And then reversing, bringing the left hand across the right shin, right hand on the floor, and then inhaling to begin, exhaling to twist a little bit and back and forth. Maybe staying in that opposition here. So these are just a little twist like that, or if it's right for you, you may want to go into a full spinal twist. This hand, left hand can come on the right thigh. You can keep your eyes looking straight to the ceiling. You can look sideways this way, or if that feels right, trying to bring that shoulder, that right shoulder down on the mat. And maybe looking behind you, maybe extending your right arm. And a few breaths here, receiving the spinal twist. And maybe inviting the breath to visit the areas that are Feeling a little more constricted right now. Sending the breath there. Feeling the head, the shoulder, the ribs getting a little heavier on the ground. Noticing the hips opening up. And very slowly returning the head first, the torso, and the leg. Once this leg is here, inviting that right leg to lengthen and just taking a few moments here to really sense into the body the difference between the right side, the left side of the body. Benefits from those stretches. Maybe some residual sensation, some tingling or some opening, some stretching. Maybe the breath is fluid in a different way than earlier. And whenever you are ready, folding the left knee, bring the hands over the left shin and gently pulling in. Feeling the opposite of the thigh, you're stretching the front. Relaxing the head, the shoulders. And then maybe taking the hands to the back of the thigh and then inhaling, reaching the leg up. And exhaling, folding. So here again, noticing any tendency to overdo or to really push and strive or to back off. And then listening to what's needed here rather than what the mind is saying. Maybe what does my heart say to my body right now? What would be better for me? Perhaps choosing to climb the lower leg or not. Few breaths here. Allowing yourself to slow down, to really deepen the breath here. And slow folding that leg in. Left hand with the left shin, the opposite hand, right hand can be with the right hip. And then slow opening a little bit to the left side. And back center. Inhaling to open. Exhaling to the center. One more, breathing in, out. And then other side, right hand with left shin, left hand can be on the floor. And then inhaling at the center, exhaling to the little twist. And then returning and then swaying back and forth a few times at your own pace. Again, maybe staying here or going to the full twist, pressing gently the hand over the thigh. Eyes again can stay forward, your right shoulder pull back as much as you can. It's okay if that other shoulder doesn't touch, but exploring that, can we let it drop down a little more and maybe can we pull that arm back, maybe looking away. Few breaths here, maybe eyes closed or open. Letting the weight of the body completely sink, feeling yourself completely supported by Mother Earth right now, letting go, surrendering. And slowly, at your own pace, returning the head center, the torso, the leg, and then seeing if we can bring here the sole of the feet, maybe together. So for this one, if you do have yoga block or some cushions, actually, cushion would also be really, really wonderful. You may want to try to open your hips, feet together, knees wide, like a butterfly pose. By supporting your hips with the yoga block, you can bring them even perhaps higher if you need, middle or lower, or you can pad some pillows on either side. Just taking a few moments to maybe place the hand on the bellies and receiving a few breaths here. Maybe closing the eyes, opening the gaze. The hands can also fall along the side. That's another option. Or you may wish to have your arms up and overhead for a few breaths here, feeling your side lengthening. So this may feel is very nurturing, supporting right now. On the contrary, this pose may feel more challenging, difficult. So cultivating kindness and care once again. And seeing if maybe we can release any tension of creeping, holding in the glutes, the hip, if this is possible. And if not, again, this is not a problem. We can accommodate and come back to knees bent, feet flat. Send the leg more stretch. We'll bring the sole of the feet together back on the floor. And then before going into a Shavasana rest pause, just hugging the knee to the chest a few times here to stretch the lower back. So inhaling, exhaling, gently rounding, pressing the shin toward the chest. Breathing into the lower back here, sacrum, tailbone, feeling the width here across the pelvis, the head, the shoulder, ankle. One more time, maybe sending both legs up this time, or just one, maybe pedal them a little bit. And then allowing the knees to come nice and wide. Maybe grabbing a hold of the lower leg as we balance and rock from side to side, or the feet. Then giving yourself a little bit of a happy baby stretch here. Smiling with the body. Moving in an organic way, just no right or wrong here, really just sensing what feels right. Maybe lengthening one leg a lot or just a little. Maybe losing the balance and coming back. And then here, I'm inviting you to take a few moments in Shavasana or rest pause. So you may would like to prepare your head with a pillow like that for a few moments or more than one. You may wish to bring another pillow behind the knees or some pads, some blocks. Maybe it's cool where you are and you need to bring a little bit of a blanket, or you need something comforting for you. So feel free to do that and cover yourself. You can let your legs be even more open like we were doing earlier, like that little butterfly. You can bring your arms along your side, palms up. That helps open the shoulder, palm down. You can have one hand on the tummy or the chest. And if, again, lying down is maybe not the best option for you right now, you are very welcome to sit or even stand for a few moments. So I invite you to now maybe soften your gaze. Eyes can stay gently open on a soft spot or closed. You're meant to feel the back of the head, maybe resting on your support or balancing along on top of your spine. The neck, the shoulder to soften. Feel the connection of the back of the body with the ground, from the torso to the arms. The hands to soften the pelvis. The glutes and the thighs. The lower leg and the calves, the feet. And then inviting the front of the body to soften, softening the region of the head, the forehead, eyebrows, eyes in the eye socket, cheeks, jaw to in the mouth, throat and chest, front of the shoulders, front of the abdomen, arms and hands, softening the region of the pelvis, belly, allowing the front of the thighs, the legs, the feet to further soften, to surrendering, and allowing yourself to completely being here right now, letting go of any doing. Just trusting that you are fully supported by Mother Earth into this moment and just completely offering yourself to her. And so in those few moments of silence in Shavasana, I would like to just share a few more words from someone, Peabody, that I came across online. This person said, "The world would not be the same without you, without your impact, without only the beauty and kindness you can bring. You belong. You are lovable. You are a gift." Just now taking a few moments here to receive the benefits from the practice. Beautiful words from this poem, maybe sending yourself some appreciation for just being here. Sensing the whole body being breathed, 3 dimension, the shape of the body. Maybe staying here in your amount that you might need, or very slowly transitioning by bringing very subtle movements into the fingertips and the toes. Maybe rolling on one side of your choice at your own pace, no rush. Showing your body a deep breath in, oxygen in all the cells of your being. And slowly breath out. And slowly, slowly making your way back to maybe a seated position. Noticing the effect of gravity on the body in that new position. Now we are arriving here. The world would not be the same without you, without your impact, without only the beauty and kindness you can bring. You belong, you are lovable, you are a gift. And we maybe take a moment in appreciation of this practice and all the lovely being that we have here in this room all together. Thank you, everybody, for being a gift for this retreat. Thank you for your presence, for your participation, for being willing to cultivate mindfulness in your life.
For more, please hit the subscribe button and visit integrativemindfulnessmovement.com.